Hello Australia, welcome to episode 708 of The Couch. We have got a big show today. Let me tell you who's on. Demelza Leonard is not talking ABBA, but she's talking music today. Talking health with Dr. Kostridge and Nisha. Later on, Wild Things with Marnie. She joins us again on The Couch. Glad to see her back. We talk about the Revolution Film Festival with Suzanne Warner. Taste of Chittering is back in Chittering. We talk about that. And later, we've got the Bitchin' team in. Sharon's filling in for Ted. Chris Ilsley's here. And of course, we've got Jen Merrigan as well. Stick around. It's a big couch. Hope you can stay with us. It starts now.
It's showtime on the couch. It's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can see it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred. And the best in town. You can see it from your house. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. Oh, oh, oh.
Can I just say welcome back to Veronica Light. Been over in Sydney for a very long time. She's back in Perth. Come over just quickly. Come on camera just to say hello. Veronica was one of our crew a few years ago. She was at the ABC. Welcome home.
It's good to be home.
Glad to be back in Perth. Safe Perth.
Very happy to be back in Perth.
And we love having you here. Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
see Veronica throughout the next few weeks as well, if she chooses to come back and play for the car. There you go. Can I also welcome Tyra? She's our floor manager today, one of our new floor managers. I'll get Tyra to come on camera later on. And thank you to you at home, all over Australia. Thanks to all our crew, of course. They do a great job every week. There they are there. Wave, everybody. The Patreon. We've got Charlotte. There's Tyra. There's Greg, who's one of our new members of crew too. I've got to introduce him. Sonia, of course. Everyone remembers Sonia. She's still here. I know you're saying she's still there. Yes, she is. And if you're out there and looking for maybe a relationship, don't bother. Don't bother. She's ours. She's fully ours. She's not free. She's not available. Can I just welcome someone that doesn't need any relationship help? Demelza. Well, I've got to look after ourselves. We don't want her to leave. We try and keep people happy. We're like the Church of Scientology here. I tell you what, just better. Welcome. What an introduction. Can I just say to you, do you know a band called ABBA?
I know where you're going with this.
Nowhere, because I want to go to London, but hey, wasn't it fantastic that
It's
after
good
40
to see
years,
they finally, and we've been talking for, I think,
3-4 years.
out of the 6 years I've been here, for at least 5 of them about ABBA.
It was fantastic to see them do that world interview, that launch after 40 years. They're going to release an album in November. Those 2 songs, the second of the 2, Don't Shut Me Down, both songs were about them.
Yeah.
And I thought they were amazing. I did like the second one better, I had to say.
I was going to say, how do you find it as the ABBA fan that you are in regards to that?
I loved them
those
both, only because
releases?
it's ABBA. I was in tears on the morning when I watched it because I was in tears of happiness.
Yeah.
And the fact that 40 years, they're all in their 70s, they've come back and not many bands do that. It's a shame they still don't want to show people what they look like.
Yeah.
But I also understand the business people that they are, the avatars are going to live forever into their children and their grandchildren's life. So congratulations, welcome ABBA. And you know you can actually buy your tickets already in London. They're going to have their first of their new style shows.
Yeah.
And look, I wish them all the best. And I can't wait.
Fantastic.
Hope they bring it to Australia.
Fingers crossed, because I know there were a lot of very excited ABBA fans in Oz when that came out, when we all woke up to that news. So
Don't shut me down.
no, and great that they stuck to their sound
And
as
you know
well.
what? You can play Dancing Queen, Mamma Mia, and then Don't Shut Me Down, and you wouldn't know it was recorded at any other time.
Yeah,
So
that's
thank you
it.
for the music, ABBA, and thank you for coming back in my lifetime. Because it was very sad if one of them had passed away. I think it would have been the end of ABBA.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I know you can't cover it because you've got Janet Jackson news.
Well, your ABBA, Janet is my my ABBA.
Anyway.
Now, she excited fans earlier this week where she came out and has released a trailer that she is releasing a documentary early in 2022 to mark the 40th anniversary of her self-titled album, which came out in 1982. So she will be, and the beauty of this as well, she's an executive producer on this documentary.
Wow.
It's her story. So it's not
It's her
someone
story
who
told
has
her way.
created the documentary. It's actually Jana is in control
And she's
of
always
this.
been that type of person.
Which is why she's very private.
Yep.
She's very personal. Even when she had Bubby at the age of 50, it was very kept under
Yes.
wraps until she was ready to release that information.
She's learnt a lot about her family and about the entertainment industry.
I think so. She's been around for quite some time,
Correct.
you know, and she's quite happy to be in control of her own narrative. And apart from the odd scandal here and there,
Which they all have.
I mean, look, Nipplegate wasn't really her doing anyway with the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. So, yeah, it's great. So that is due to come out. Expect to see Missy Elliott, Mariah Carey, and all sorts of big names actually part of this doco as well.
Now, sad news, Mark Hoppus and his
Yeah.
cancer news.
So Mark Hoppus, it's actually positive news for him. Earlier this year, he released information that he has been covering, and I will get this right, stage 4A diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, which is also something that his mum has battled in the past. Tom DeLonge from Blink-182, which is of course where Mark Hoppus is from as well, he has said that he is recovering well with the chemotherapy that he is doing. So really
love
positive
Blink-182.
news and good to see that he's on the mend.
What's happened to Blink-182? We haven't seen them for a long time.
Mark left the group.
Yeah.
He kind of went off on this whole alien tangent
yeah.
a little bit, and the guys did release an album a couple of years ago. You also had Travis Barker now is with Kourtney Kardashian, and he's doing stuff with Machine Gun
So Blink
Kelly
won't be
as
coming
well.
back in a hurry.
They are working on music, and I believe at the time of this diagnosis, they were in the studio starting to put
Yep.
things together. They had mended that relationship a bit as well. So the fact that Tom DeLonge is the one who announced the information on Mark Hoppus's recent update, that's really positive for Blink-182 fans. We might actually see the trio back together, pending how this all goes.
Good news either way.
Yeah.
Now, let's have a look at something brand new. It's called the Gig Guide.
Something
Now,
new.
if you would like to be part of the Gig Guide, by all means, do send us an email at our email address, which is mail@thecouch.com.au, and we'll pass it on to Demelza. But for this week, we've got a couple of events.
Yeah, a couple of events. Now, Solomon Pitt, if you haven't heard of him, do yourself a favour, Google him, check out his Instagram. His voice is immaculate. He has an absolute beautiful voice. If you're into R&B, if you're into soul, contemporary pop
in
music
there.
as well, there's Solomon right there. Now, he is playing on the 19th of September with a collective at the Ellington Jazz Club for I Love the Quiet. And then he's also playing with Grant Windsor, who is the other guy in the photo, on the 24th of September
Temple.
at Pools Temple as well. So if you love that soul, R&B, funky, jazzy sound, definitely one to check out and get behind some local talent.
I like your next one, the Super Jesus.
Super Jesus, remember them? So
do.
if you are down in Rockingham, also on the 24th of September, then check them out as well. They are playing around town. So also Margaret River on the 23rd, the 25th at the Railway Hotel in Freo, and the 26th at Bar One nightclub at Hillary's.
And as I said, you can actually send the emails to me, or you can send them to Demelza. We do have a website address for Demelza. Are we able to pull it up now, or is it too hard? Yep. No? Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at your website. Demelza, tell us what it is.
DemelzaLeonard.com.
You can write to Demelza directly, and then she'll make sure you're in the run.
That's
Now,
exactly
let's
right.
have a look at the top 3 songs for this week. I do only like one of them, which is Justin Bieber's one.
I'm
but-
surprised. There's a new one that's on
Is
there that
there?
I thought you might like.
Yeah, ABBA.
Let's check out the ARIA top 3 right now.
Let's have a look.
Coming in at number 3, this is Cold Heart, Elton John and Dua Lipa. It samples Sacrifice with Panau, so
Correct.
Aussie producers on the remix. Bad Habits with Ed Sheeran.
And my favourite, number 1.
And at number 1, The Kid Laroi featuring Justin Bieber with Stay, also produced by Zach and Fanatic, 2 Perth boys.
I'm really impressed with Justin Bieber. Hey, the new married, happy
I think
guy.
he's grown up.
No, I just think the new look, the new sound,
Yeah.
it sounds settled, and he's
Yeah.
doing a great job. But fantastic. Thank you, Demelza.
Thank you.
And I reckon, I'm going to make a prediction, ABBA's going to come number 1.
Do you know
Don't
what?
shut me down.
It'll be interesting to see. I actually think you might have Kanye to deal with.
Okay.
Well, let's see. We will
deal
find
with
out.
you, Kanye. 40 years experience compared to Kanye. Anyway, is he the one that does Manulog? Or is
No,
that
that's
somebody-
Snoop.
Oh, well, close enough. Did anyone
Snoop's
say?
coming to Perth next year, just off the
Well,
chance. Maybe he'll do the
Talking
menu
about
log
menu
there.
log, you can buy Bites Pizza on menu log now as well. But if you want to win a voucher, $25 voucher, Bites Pizza is amazing. They're in Erindale Road in Balcatta, right behind the 7-Eleven. They do beautiful slabs of pizza, pocket pizza, desserts, coffee, cakes, more. All you have to do to win is put an SMS to us, 0439 929 929. The code word needs to be BITES, as in BYTES, and then put your name and address on there. We've got 4 more to give away, and then we say, ciao, baby. Let's call it a day. I think I've got the right song. Bites Pizza, thank you very much for your promotion, and please support them if you can. We've got Nisha back on couch with Dr. Kostridge. Over to you, Nisha.
Thank you, Fred. Joining us on the couch, and welcome back to Dr. Joe Kostridge.
Afternoon, Nisha. Fred, nice to see you again.
Dr. Joe, you've been very busy as usual, not just, research, assessing, getting out amongst the media. What have you been up to?
It's a busy time, and then we've been running, COVID vaccination clinics, obviously often in addition to normal clinic hours, and the numbers of those have been ramping up. And look, we're not unique in that. I think around Australia there's 4,500 GP practices that have been doing this. And look, despite all the assorted, cheap shots get taken from the side, the original plan was that anybody who wanted to be vaccinated by, the end of this year, they will have been.
So I was going to ask you how we're going. Do you think the Western Australian community is responding well?
Look, I think we are a little bit behind. We're running last, and that's not really a credit to the powers that be in this state. I think perhaps people don't perceive that there's as much perhaps imperative as they have in New South Wales and Victoria. But ultimately, there are people in this state who want to see their families and loved ones. Some people, even shock horror, may want to take a holiday outside of Western Australia. It's a terrible thing to say. How dare anybody want to, maybe see a different part of the world? But I think there is this sort of belief, wrongly, that, COVID can be eliminated. It is not going to be eliminated. We're going to go from pandemic to endemic. This virus is an airborne respiratory virus, is never going to get off the planet, so it's never going to be eliminated. We're going to have to live with it. The question is not if, but when. And if we can get our vaccination rates up, then doesn't mean people may not test positive, but their chances of having a serious illness is reduced, and the chances of death is seriously reduced. We're already seeing in New South Wales this year, the infection fatality rate is about 0.3%, and that is fairly analogous to seasonal influenza.
So what I'm hearing is that it's a very hopeful message, as long as people do get vaccinated.
Look, this really is. It's been shown internationally. We've seen this in Europe, we've seen it in North America. We really are seeing that as people get vaccinated, then the rate, it doesn't mean you can't get it. And this is one of the fallacies, that we keep focusing in this country on the number of positive tests. That's the wrong metric. The metric is serious illnesses, hospitalisations and fatalities. And we have 450 people every day in Australia will die from some cause, 450. Now, if 10 of those are from influenza, or 10 of those are from COVID, or 10 of those are from pneumonia, look, it always remains sad for those people. But again, it's that instead of something else. We all of us, you, me, everybody, we're all going to die one day, and none of us want it to be tomorrow, but particularly when we know that now the average age of death with COVID is something like 87, the average life expectancy in this country is about 83 and a half. We need to get perspective back. We've lost in all the fear that's been unfortunately promoted by certain elements. We've lost that perspective, that death is not optional, and particularly in an older age group. Again, nobody likes to see their grandparents or parents die, but who of us think that we're going to live forever?
Yeah, so that suggestion there that we need to alter the metrics, I think, is a really important one, because it's distorting perhaps some of the views.
Very, very much so. There was a quote I saw a few weeks ago from 2019. I think they quoted the South Australian Chief Health Officer saying, this week we've had, I think it was 30, and again, could stand corrected on the exact number of deaths from influenza in this state, in South Australia, 30 that week. Now, and they said, well, that's just life. That's just winter. That happens every year. If there's 3 deaths from COVID, they want let alone 3 deaths, 3 positive tests, we're now locking the whole place down. So I think that perspective has been lost.
Okay. I love it how you're able to always bring context and a bird's eye view to these situations. So let's use that now as a good segue into what we're talking about today as well, because a lot's happening in the background. I believe it's osteoporosis, am I correct?
Osteoarthritis.
Arthritis. Sorry, I've been doing different research. Here we go.
Now, they can go together, but they are very separate conditions.
I'm a psychologist and not a doctor.
So osteoarthritis, wear and tear in the joints, osteoporosis, thinning, for want of a better term, of the bones.
Yes. Okay, so what's been happening in the research?
Look, again, osteoarthritis, one of these things, if we live long enough, there are certain things that may happen. The hair gets a little bit greyer, the skin a little bit more wrinkly, and the joints can sort of wear out. But in particular, with knee osteoarthritis, this new work, which again builds on what's been done before, showing very 101 type results, Nisha. If people lose some weight and do some regular exercise, that their pain levels can be reduced in knee arthritis. And there was a big report put out in 2017 by the Australian Council of Safety and Quality in Healthcare that determined that for every 1 kilo of weight loss, there is 4 kilos reduced force on the knee. So if you're walking, just because, again, physics of mass times acceleration, that for every kilo of weight loss, there's 4 kilos less force going through the knee. So that means if you lose 5 kilos, you've got 20 kilos less force going through the knee. But also, and there's some work being done actually at the moment in Perth, a couple of orthopaedic surgeons are looking at this. It's always been assumed that osteoarthritis is just pure wear and tear, and that is certainly a significant part of it. But there's thought to be also potentially an inflammatory component to it, and that dietary change, and particularly cutting out a lot of the processed and sugary foods, may also improve symptoms in osteoarthritis.
Well, there we go. So for our audience, what are some suggestions and practical application of this?
Look, this work, again, is basically saying get out and do some exercise. And, the weather is warming up now. I appreciate at the moment there are certain restrictions on what people can do in different states, but even those are gradually being lifted. I think they're up to 2 hours in New South Wales. It's going forward. You are allowed to get out and exercise.
And how much is enough?
The more you do, not so much the more you do, the better. There is a limit, but anything you can do is better than nothing. So is it a good idea to aim for 30 minutes? Look, it is, but if you can only do 15, don't be put off and think, if I can't do 30, I won't do it at all. Do your 15. If you can only manage 10, do that. Go for a walk around the block, get on your bike, go to the pool if you're able to, when the gyms are open up, go into that. Whatever works for you, because the best form of exercise is the one that you'll stick to.
Yeah.
And again, as the weather warms up, it's great to be able to do that outside. Diet-wise, again, it's not rocket science. Really, if we can cut out a lot of the sugary and processed foods, that's already half the battle won.
Brilliant. Okay. And what will we hear about from you next? Anything exciting happening for you over the next few weeks? Work and more work?
Look, there's really a space that's increasingly of interest, and the federal government allocated $15 million earlier in the year to research in this area, is with use of psychedelics such as MDMA and psilocybin in PTSD and treatment-resistant depression. And the international work is interesting. I don't think anybody can come out and say we're not curing anything yet. We've got a long way to go. But, the federal government has committed this country to look down that path. And I think this is a very interesting area.
Fantastic. Well, Dr. Joe Kostorich, always fantastic to have you on the show. Where do we find more information about you?
Look, they can go to the website, Nisha, at drjoetoday.com and click over to a couple of the socials from there, and we put out a monthly newsletter for those that are interested.
Fantastic. And we look forward to hearing more about the topic, particularly with treatment of PTSD and depression as well. Very important. But thank you very much, as always, for coming on the show.
You're welcome, Nisha.
And if you've missed any of that, of course, you can catch it on thecouch.com.au or our Facebook page. But for now, it's back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much. Nice to see Dr. Joe back in the studio. Dr. Joe, is your clinic doing the injections, the vaccines?
Yes, Fred. We're sort of shipping them out as quickly as the state government lets us ship them in.
Now, where's your clinic if people want to come down?
Okay, I can't really discuss that on
Bad
air.
luck. I'm sorry. Go to my clinic, Med1 in Mirrabooka. They're doing it to everybody. Well done, a professional doctor. Gee, that's a good thing. Oh, we won't even go there. Thank you to Dr. Joe. And do you believe in opening up and living with COVID as a doctor? Do you like that philosophy?
It's not an option, Fred. The question is not if, but when.
When we do
and
it.
this is all the international experience. And an airborne respiratory virus will never
away.
be eliminated.
I agree.
One can try and hide from it, but you cannot eliminate it. So the question is not if, but when.
And I think we need to do that. We need to. I don't like the word living with COVID. I like managing COVID. But thank you to Dr. Joe. Thanks to Nisha. Nisha will be back later on with a couple of more guests, but I'll be back after the break. There you go. Happy for that. I'm going to say hello to Greg after the break too, one of our new crew. Back with more of The Couch after this. Welcome back to The Couch, episode 708. Don't forget you can catch The Couch on Fox till 8:30 on a Sunday night on Aurora 173 channel. And of course it is 8:30 p.m. Perth time, 10:30 for you guys over east in Sydney and in Melbourne. Our best to you as well, in the lockdown in Canberra as well. But you can catch it on thecouch.com.au. On the Sunday we record, Monday morning about 2 a.m. it's there if you want to stay up and watch it live, and a new episode every week. Talking about new, it's nice to have Marnie Giroux back on The Couch, and today she's talking about Zoo Peru, and she's got a very special guest. Over to you, Marnie.
Thanks, Fred. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Wild Things. Well, recently, on the 7th of September, we commemorated the last known Tasmanian tiger in captivity to pass away in 1936. It's a really sad day, and it's something that's commemorated every year, but it also highlights the issue of biodiversity loss, not only here in Australia, but around the world. My next guest is doing some incredible things to try and bring awareness around this issue, and we chat to him today. Hi Owen, welcome to The Couch.
Good afternoon, Marnie. Thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. Now tell us, what are you doing to highlight the issues around biodiversity?
Well, yesterday I did a walk from Mandurah to Perth, the Walk for Biodiversity,
Right.
where I walked 75 kilometres within the day.
Wow.
To promote the work that Zoo Peru does.
That's incredible. So 75 kilometres in one day.
Yeah.
So when did you start?
So I started at 5:30 in the morning and
gosh.
finished just before 9 o'clock
Nine
at
o'clock
night.
at night.
Just over 15 hours worth of walking consistently.
That's incredible. So are you exhausted today?
I'm feeling
You look
pretty good for the moment. I think the excitement of finishing was enough to kind of carry me through recovery this morning. But I'm a bit sore in the feet and some of the joints. But otherwise holding up pretty well.
Amazing. What made you want to walk for biodiversity?
I think it's such an important aspect of what Zoo Peru does, preserving nature, and we've got some land out in Iquitos where Zoo Peru operates.
And what country is that for our viewers
That's
at home?
in Peru, sorry.
Okay, in
yeah,
South
just
America.
in the northern reaches of Peru in South America.
Right.
And so we've managed to secure 700 acres of rainforest.
Fab.
And with that rainforest, it's currently titled as farming and agricultural purpose, but what we're doing is we're trying to conserve it and change those land titles into private conservation reserves to create natural habitats for wildlife to remain.
Now, we've been chatting to various members of Zoo Peru over the years, so Anthony, yourself, Nicole. Just amazing the work going on there. So I think it's fantastic that you're doing something here in Perth. Obviously, you can't travel over there at the moment. So was that sort of something behind the thinking of doing a walk for biodiversity?
Yeah, I think the world's just connected with the responsibilities and also the environmental issues. You know, things that affect Peru with the changes in logging, deforestation, impact the Australian climate as well. So those connectivities and effects that are seen, you know, we feel as well. So I think it's important to try and make a difference where we can, and it's close to my heart. I've been over to Peru, so I felt it was an opportunity for me to give back and promote the work that the organisation does.
That's awesome. Fabulous. Now, speaking about that, how much have you raised so far?
So far I'm at the $2,100 mark.
That's fantastic. Well done.
Yeah, it's really good. Thank you.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. So that money, that will go towards some of those projects in the Amazon?
Yeah, so some of the projects we have over in the Amazon, to fund the staff that we have over there, and they manage the property, the land for us. So they'll go and submit all the administration papers, documentation for us. They'll organise different groups and activities for people to come out to the land and do a bit of research where possible, and then all the requirements for the government that they need to do.
Okay. And that patch of land must be amazing for biodiversity, I'm guessing, like just stunning, like a lot of animals and plants.
Heaps.
Yeah.
I think 2 weeks ago I read an article where there was a new species of monkey discovered.
Really?
So this area hasn't been touched. It's pristine. It's amazing what could be there undiscovered.
So that's why biodiversity, that's why it's important for us to protect it, obviously, both here in Australia and overseas in places such as Peru in the Amazon jungle. So how do you feel your walk went, and how can people support you in your walk for biodiversity?
I think the walk went well. I mean, I finished it, which was...
You did?
Probably...
And you're here talking to us today.
Yeah. And I can still breathe and I can still function. So people can donate or follow us on the Zoo Peru Facebook account.
Fabulous.
Or the GoFundMe page under Walk for Biodiversity.
Which is on screen. Great. Fabulous. So they can support you with monetary donations to really, assist that project in the Amazon. That's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
How long will you have that open for, that GoFundMe page? Will that
we'll
be
have
for a
that
while?
open for another week.
Okay.
And then we'll close it down and get on to the next exciting adventure.
And will you be doing any more of these walks for biodiversity in our state anywhere anytime soon?
I'm not sure. I think I'll
Too
let
soon?
this one too soon. I'll let this one sit for a minute, and I think I'll appreciate the journey that I've been on with everything, and then sit back and think what else we can do.
And obviously, I'm sure you'd be keen to get back there. Obviously, we're all restricted at the moment in travel, but you must be looking forward to that.
As soon as the borders open up, it'd be great to fly back over and see the wildlife that's there and just reconnect with all the staff and the land itself.
Well done. What an amazing project, and congratulations on doing 75 kilometres and then sitting on the couch and chatting to us today.
Thank you very much for having me and for all your support.
No worries. Guys, if you'd like to support Owen's Walk for Biodiversity, visit zooperu.com or our website at thecouch.com.au. Thanks for watching this week. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much, Marnie. It's always great to support Zoo Peru. They do an amazing job. And please, if you can only donate money, if that's the only thing you can do, that really does help them. And please do that. Go to zooperu.com.au, their website. Go to the GoFundMe page. Check out our website every week with details on there as well. All right, Palace Cinema have got some tickets to give away. 2 of the platinum tickets, 2 of the standard tickets. Have a look at the cinema. It looks amazing. If you haven't been, it's pure luxury. Can I just tell you, Marnie wants to go and watch a movie. I know that. And it is fantastic. There you go. They've got all leather seating, restaurants galore. In the platinum seating, you can actually order food from many of the restaurants in the plaza there. And we'd love you to enjoy it. So all you have to do, this is how easy it is. I need you to send me an SMS. There, 0439 929 929. That's our normal SMS number. The code word is PALACE, PALACE. Your name and address on that SMS, and we'll pick someone during the week, and we'll give away 2 of the standard, 2 of the platinum, and we'll do that every week here on the couch. Thanks to Palace Cinema. We're going to take a break very soon, but before we do that, actually, I just remembered Nisha. Thank you for sitting there, Nisha. Just sitting there. I wonder what she's doing there. She's talking to Suzanne Warner because the Revelation Film Festival is all up and running again, and we've got some late news about that now. Over to you, Nisha.
Thank you, Fred. Always great to have an old friend of the couch, Susie Warner. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Susie, there's lots of exciting things always happening in your world.
Yes. So the world revolving around Revelation Film Festival is never ending. We had our big event in July, which was impacted by COVID. We had lockdowns, we had restrictions, but we never stop. So we're planning ahead for next year, which is our 25th year.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. So I've even put a little bit of silver in some of the signage now because, it's a silver anniversary.
Yeah.
And so we've announced our new dates, and we've also announced that international call for entries are opening. So we want people to send their films to us so we can look at them.
Brilliant. So tell us a little bit about the festival for those, I'm sure we've all heard about it, but what are its aims and what are the exciting things about the festival?
Well, Rev has obviously been around for a long time, for 25 years. It's been based here in Perth, and basically we want to show you the stuff that isn't going to make it big in mainstream. Some of the stuff will get a cinema release, but not all of it. So we want to be open to so many different types of stories, to short films, to experimental films, to documentaries, to big features. You know, there's nothing that's off limits here. And we want to bring it to so many different types of people as well. We usually have kids stuff. We have stuff you don't take your grandma to. So a whole range of things.
And I recall from having you on the couch before, there's many types of presentations and films. So there's like live performances as well at times, which is phenomenal. And the online stuff too. So if you can't get there, you can actually still participate,
exactly.
right?
And that's what we needed to do, particularly for this year, because it was all closed down. So we did a lot of discussions. We called them our fireside chats. And it was good because we can get, you know, the director of our opening night feature film, he's in America. We can't actually have him here, but he could still be a part of the event. So he was involved chatting away. We did like an hour chat with him of just yak, and it was great. And we could do that with so many different types of people.
How brilliant for the industry as well, because like you said, you have that interaction. So a lot of young and budding, you know, people in the industry can actually get to know what it's like.
They can get to meet each other, but they can also get to talk to these people. It's not like they're sort of, you know, stuck away here is in this special bubble or anything. So people, the filmmakers can actually learn, they can exchange ideas, make connections, because that's how the whole industry works, is who you know and, you know, can I work on this project, and that leads to something else.
How exciting. So how does a submission or application process work if people out there are going, I really want to get in there?
You've got a film, okay? You want to go to our website, which is revelationfilmfest.org, and from there you'll see the entry via Film Freeway. So you just follow the prompts, and it's all very simple. You just pick the category that you're putting it in. Is it a short film? Is it a feature? That kind of thing. But we don't have limitations on durations and themes, so it's all very easy.
I've got all the details on the screen just up there, so we can see the dates as well. So call for entries open now until April 1st.
Yes, so don't be an April Fool. I use that date because I remember that one. So that's our close for submission. So there's quite a few months there, and then we can, we start selecting and we shortlist them, and then we can put them together for July.
Very, very exciting. Now, there's another little secret, a little birdie has flown into the studio to tell us that the City of Vincent has a potential, and I think biased, but fantastic potential new councillor. You're running.
Yes, I'm going to run for local council. I live here in the City of Vincent. I do all my work here in the City of Vincent, so it makes sense for me to put my hand up, to sort of put my money where my mouth is, basically, and just be involved in our local government. And what I find about our local government is it impacts on us every day. You know, the state of the streets, the state of everything around our environment is from local government. So I want to have a say in that. I also want to be able to help other people have a say in it.
Yeah, beautiful. So you've really lived and breathed the streets here in Vincent, and obviously really engaged in the art, the culture of the whole precinct as well.
Yeah. So, I've done lots of events here. We've got, all the Streets and Lanes festivals and the Leadypalooza and Light Up Leaderville, and of course Revelation is here, which is really important to me. And we commission films about the City of Vincent. We've done about 12 of them so far.
That's wonderful. Well, I know that Fred is very excited about you running as well. Yeah, what do you think, Fred?
Well, I think congratulations. We couldn't have a better candidate, City of Vincent, and we're right next door to you virtually. Susie, for those young people that for the last couple of years because of COVID, they love their films, they love their entertainment, all that type of thing. Can we urge not only our West Australian people, but can anyone around Australia, especially all those people in lockdown that have got a bit of time on their hands and they're into movie making, can they get involved in this and submit films to you?
Well, yeah, our international call for entries is international. We usually have films from at least 30 countries.
And why should kids, young kids under 25 say, what opportunity can making a film give them for the future?
Well, it's like creating your resume. You can prove, look, this is what I can do. This is my concept. This is my idea, and it goes from there. And then that's for someone else to look at and go, hey, I want that person. We'll
Here's
bring
an
them
idea
involved.
for you.
Yeah.
Could you imagine setting a theme called My Life in COVID Lockdown? Make a film about individual people and what they've been up to in their world of lockdown, because some could be quite depressing and sad and boring, and others could find it an amazing time to create new business and art and make movies.
There's so many projects that have been done with that, and we're actually seeing even on a Hollywood scale of how they're working around these lockdowns to create films. A new film that's just come out, you don't notice it at first, but there is never more than one person in any scene because they were all completely socially distant.
Yeah, sure.
And why is it important for Australia to support an organisation like the Revelation International Perth Festival?
It's really important I think, because this is grassroots. We are going to be seen around the world. So the films that we program, we also program other events around the world. There's the St Kilda Film Festival. There's one in Italy that I do. There's the Sydney Underground. Lots of them. So if we know about your film, we can try and get it out around the world because you want an audience.
Stories. That's so important, isn't it? You learn a lot through stories.
That's the only way we can learn and create break down our barriers and create more knowledge on things.
And we also had the Cinefest happen just recently.
We did.
With what was his name? Sacha Baron Cohen. I never get his name right, but the one that plays Borat.
Yes.
He thought it was very
Isla
good.
Fisher was here too.
But look, I think it's wonderful things are happening. You guys are fully working.
Yep.
And we support you 100%. And we're only on for another 10 episodes this year, but we'll see Susie back on again, talking either council or Revelation again.
All my hats.
You've got so many, but you can do it. If anyone can, you can. Nisha, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Did you want to give out your website again, please, Susie, looking at camera one?
Okay, revelationfilmfest.org. Please go along there. You'll also see all the other news and stuff that we're doing.
There you go. Did you miss that email address? I didn't see it up on screen, but I think we did have it up before as well, but that was great. Thank you very much to you guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations. When do we hear about the council stuff?
Ballots go out towards the end of the month. Counting happens on the 16th of October.
Beautiful. Good luck. There's her face. That's the person. Susie Warner. Hey, Greg, come over very quickly. This is Greg. He's going to come over. He's going to leave the studio. He's going off to do What are you doing, Greg? Bend over. There you go.
I'm doing I'm going to a film festival. So we're filming some folk type music for some of the guests over there.
We've got to teach you to talk into a microphone over there, see? But well done. He's one of our new crew. Congratulations on that. Thanks for being part of us, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Good luck. That's Greg. We'll try and introduce all our crew before the end of the year. We'll take a break. Back after the break, we're talking Chittering, the festival that's coming up with Nisha again. See you then. Back to the couch. It's always nice to talk about local events, fantastic events. Caroline James is with us today talking about the taste of Chittering. Now, if Caroline needs a couple of wine tasters, maybe cheese tasters, we're available. Nisha and I will be there in a jiffy. Over to you, Nisha, with all the details.
Absolutely. Thank you, Fred. That's a great introduction. It was exactly what I was thinking when Caroline came onto the couch that I'm now sinking into. Caroline, welcome back to the couch.
Thank you, Nisha. Lovely to be here again.
It's very exciting that we're still having events here in Western Australia, and A Taste of Chittering is a legacy event. It's been around for many years, is that right?
Yes, it has indeed. It's growing year on year, and we're really excited to bring it back to the community again in October.
Fantastic. So to be in its second decade now, there must be a bit of a secret sauce to the recipe of it being put together, and you're the perfect person to talk about that, considering you're managing the whole event.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Well, it is. It's really exciting, and it's growing year on year. I think the part of the secret sauce, as you say, is it's all about showing the local community, local producers. It's based in Chittering, which is only 45 minutes from Perth CBD, so it's a nice little day trip for people to go out and get some fresh country air while have a beautiful glass of wine, local cheeses, and have a great day out.
Such a relaxing atmosphere. We can certainly see that. There's wine tasting, there's entertainment as well. What else can we expect while we're there?
There's all sorts, as you said, entertainment. So we have a program of live music over the full weekend with local artists performing. Of course, it wouldn't be a country festival without something for the kids. So the Cuddly Animal Farm. We have 2 chefs appearing this year who's doing little cooking demos and activities for the kids. Another opportunity we're bringing forward this year is featuring some local chefs. They'll be doing cooking demos with local produce.
Wonderful.
So yes, I can tell you a bit more about that later.
Yeah, great. So 2nd and 3rd of October, so not too far away as well.
That's right. So 2nd and 3rd of October at Neshi Estate Wine Farm, and tickets are available on our website.
Beautiful. So for those that perhaps are not from Perth that are watching, it's only 45 minutes from Perth, a taste of Chittering. So Chittering is a beautiful little community, isn't it? We've got a couple of presenters on the show that are actually presenting there, so it's a real click.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So yes, it is. There's a range of citrus orchards, the beautiful vineyards, the rolling hills. It's a beautiful part of Western Australia.
And of course, October is going to be entering our summery month. So, what can we expect in terms of, maybe can we picnic there or eating a number of food stalls?
Yes, absolutely. All of that. So we have picnic hampers, which will be available. You can pre-order online. And they are being curated by the Northern Valley's Locavore store, so featuring all local producers. We have a huge range of food trucks, pop-up bar with local wines, beers, gin, and lots of fun things for the kids as well to eat.
Beautiful. And in terms of feedback you've got from previous years, can you think of any sort of testimonials from people that have come? Like, is it a wide age range? You mentioned kids there, but there's something for everyone, right?
Yeah, some people, well, last year people said it was the best festival they've been to in years, which was really lovely feedback. Just has a beautiful sense of community. So it's great to people come with a busload of their friends and enjoy wine and cheese, listening to the music. Really appeals to all ages, from the families to, the elderly as well.
Yeah, and in the evening, so are there events on in the evening as well?
So we're closing at 5 just to let people get home for the day, but it is running over the 2 days.
Okay,
again
that's
this year.
perfect. So one thing I wanted to add is I did hear from last year that there were some people that have been over the years and actually booked accommodation. So they've come from further and they've actually stayed overnight and made 2 days of it too. So that's another option as well. And I can see that Fred's got some ideas as well.
Well, I was just about to say that. Adelaide. You've got no border restrictions. Northern Territory, nothing. Even Queenslanders, you can come over. If you're sick and tired of being locked away or being stuck in your state, come to Perth. We've got beautiful accommodation at Chittering, beautiful food, beautiful wines, fantastic music, beautiful people that will welcome you like you've never been welcomed before. And I tell you what, the cheese, the local produce, there is so much that we can say, but it is an opportunity to maybe promote the local produce as well. Those people that work so hard to keep those companies going, especially through COVID. And some of them are from over east as well, that are here in WA. And we just want to support them all, don't we?
Yes, absolutely.
Very
And
important.
as you say, there's an amazing range of fresh local produce there, from the Witra asparagus to Little Eden honey, her beautiful apiaries.
I love it.
A range of citrus orchards. So yes.
Caroline, how much are the tickets?
So we have tickets. So it's actually free for the local community. So if you're a local
Did you say
resident,
free?
For local community, and
Love
then
free.
under 16
Yep.
is free as well, and then tickets ranging between $12 and $18 for adults and kids.
Do you know what? That is so cheap.
And a free drink on arrival too for
Wow.
those paid tickets.
Oh,
So
Fred and I there.
Is it wine or cool drink?
wine if you're over 18, or a
Dish
beer,
nice,
or a
suddenly
gin.
available.
I just turned 18, Fred, so I should be all right.
I think we've got beautiful wine here in WA, and there's a great opportunity to try that as well. But I just think we've all been in such a turmoil the last couple of years with COVID, and not so much here in WA because we've been lucky enough to be so far away from the east. It hasn't hit us as badly, but these events are very special. And I was saying to Caroline, it's terrible when we've had it moved a couple of times, and we really need to show our support, and really, really important, WA especially, please support these events. Go out there in droves, and you don't know how important it is. If we want to keep our social life, if we want to keep our community growing and going, you need to support these people. And I can't urge people enough, especially for employment, the food, the arts, everything that we stand for in WA. Anisha, they're wrapping me up. Would you like to finalise for me?
Yeah, so Caroline, where do we find out more?
So you can jump on our website at atasteofchittering.com.au and you can find out our full event program and book your tickets for A Taste of Chittering and also the bike tours, a tour around the countryside, electric bike tours that we have available. So you can really go and explore.
Beautiful. I love how you've got the holistic healthcare in there with
We
the
do.
exercise as well. Well, thank you so much, Caroline, for coming on the show again. And we'll look forward to continuing to have you on the show with all of your great events as well.
Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. So we'll see you all at A Taste of Chittering. If you've missed any of that, of course, as usual, it's on our Couch website and also on our Facebook page. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much. And don't forget Caroline James as well, one of the best events coordinators if you're looking for people to run your events here in Perth as well. She's probably saying, I've got enough work, Fred. But you can always use more. She does a great job. You want it to work? See Caroline. We'll take a break. Thank you to Nisha as well. Nisha's got a little bit of an online segment coming up today. It's all about cooking. I'll tell you more about that in the next segment.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram and YouTube.
Always fun to do a Couch Extra. Today we're doing a little bit of a fresh and local cooking segment, aren't we, Nisha?
We are.
We've got to be fed somehow.
We do.
So we've got Charlie Vargas here, he's a great chef, and you're going to take us through a great recipe.
We are. Thank
I'll
you
be back
so
at
much,
the
Fred.
end to taste the food.
Beautiful. We'll see
Leave
you
it with
very
Nisha.
soon. Welcome to The Couch, Charlie Vargas.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
We are always very excited to have chefs on the show, and particularly today you're talking about a particular recipe, but before we get into it we have to say you're here from Pirate Life, which is also a very well-loved craft beer started by some Western Australian gentlemen, is that correct?
That is correct. That is so. Pirate Life's been the idea of Pirate Life probably came on about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So we've been in the middle of a build and trying to get everything ready for it. So it's coming soon. It's going to happen before the end of the year. Can't give an exact date, but it's going to be happening soon. So we're very excited for that.
Exciting. So Charlie's going to be the chef at Pirate Life. It's going to be an amazing venue in the city of Perth. And today we're going to go through what recipe, and then we'll talk more about the build shortly.
So the recipe, it's springtime. The weather's starting to get nicer, so I want to use what's in season. So we have some torbay asparagus out of Albany, which is just starting to come into the markets. We've also have
Number of ingredients. So for our torbay asparagus salad, what have we got here?
We have some fresh blood orange that's coming out of the Perth Hills. Obviously peas being springtime, so we got some pea tendrils, some sugar snap peas, a little bit of fresh mint, and then we have this beautiful goat's feta coming out of Geraldton.
Wonderful. So endorsing all our local produce, which is wonderful.
Yes, all about local and local produce and in season. I mean, that's what good cooking's about.
Wonderful. And good cooking too is when we have a wonderful chef that can show us a recipe that we can translate at home too. So let's get started, and I want to find out more about Pirate Life and what it's going to be like in the city.
We'll just get some of the asparagus in a pan.
Beautiful. Okay, so just reminding us, where is the asparagus from?
So the asparagus is from Albany. Torbay is the farm. I've been dealing with their asparagus for quite a few years now. It's always a bit thicker than a normal asparagus you'd see in the supermarkets, and it's just the sweet flavor on it's really, really nice.
Beautiful, excellent. What can we get on moving with while the asparagus is cooking?
All right, so we're just gonna slice some of the blood orange. So I've cleaned the blood orange, taken all the skin and the pith off.
And where's the blood orange from?
This is coming right out of the Perth Hills. I'm not exactly sure, but
it's a local, which is the most important thing. Yeah, great. Now, Pirate Life, where is it going to be located?
So Pirate Life's going to be located on Murray Street, right before you get to Milligan Street.
Wonderful.
So it's in West Perth.
What's going to make Pirate Life different? Because I know, sort of breweries have a bit of a reputation for bringing a bit of zing into the area.
I think, starting with the beers, there's going to be several different beers that are just going to be unique to that venue that you can't get anywhere else in Perth. They'll be on tap there.
Wonderful.
As well as we have a few different, we got a few different kind of food entities within this precinct or this building. Yeah. So I mean, different styles of food. So that it should be fun.
I'm thinking of Chimes in Singapore, very different, obviously, cuisine, but the idea you can go somewhere and you can actually go to multiple venues in one venue. Yes. And it's near the Perth Arena. It's near so many different spots, isn't it? So likely will get quite busy.
I think we're all hoping or expecting it to be busy.
800 packs, right?
Yeah, 800 people will be able to fit inside the building at one time.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Now, I've only ever had blood orange in my cocktails. We're not making cocktails today, unfortunately. That's okay. It's going to be amazing. What else do we have going into the salad?
So it's going to be blood orange. You got some sugar snap peas I've just kind of cleaned and cut in half. Got some pea tendrils.
Beautiful.
A little bit of the feta, so...
Lovely.
Let me just move this asparagus and see what's...
That smells amazing. Can I just say that this smells beautiful? Now, I've heard from the control room, they want us to speed it up and put everything in as quickly as we can because we're running out of time.
Oh, that's okay. We can do that very quickly.
Just pull that off there.
So this is putting Chef under the usual pressure that he would be on, right? Especially when an 800 packs venue opens up.
True. All right.
Oh, they want us to turn the pan up.
Oh.
Thank you. Let's set fire to the studio.
There we go.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. You can actually talk with your voice. Try it again. Say, turn the pan up. Go on. Go on. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I wondered
So
why everyone
what are
was
we doing
mute.
here? Putting the asparagus and some of the feta
A little bit
in.
of the feta.
Thank you, Petrian.
Blood
Put a little bit of the blood orange in.
Wonderful.
A little bit of the
Blood
sugar
orange.
snap peas.
I thought it looked a bit like a tomato, didn't it?
Yeah, wow.
Just give it a little
mix.
salt and pepper.
When would you recommend such a lovely recipe like this?
To
What
me,
would you
it's
eat it with?
Spring. Oh, what would you? I mean, springtime would be the time where the
Chicken?
whether chicken would go great, crab would go great with that. Steak,
It's beautiful.
peppers
And it's
in.
very low fat, isn't it? When you look at the content in it.
It's very, very healthy.
I could eat that right now.
I just grab that.
We'll just
Yes,
be
of course you can.
moments. So we've been a
It
lovely
is fantastic. I'm looking forward to Pirate Life. It sounds like an interesting concept. I've never seen something like it before. Do you think it's going to be something completely different, Charlie?
I think it's going to be very different in the Perth market, and especially with there's a lot of craft breweries, there's a lot of brew pubs that are kind of here in Perth, and I think the way it's going to come out, it's going to be very unique, very different. Our food, it's not going to be probably your typical food that you would expect to find at a pub.
And to tell people at home, is it going to be expensive or reasonable?
No, reasonable price. It's not going to be too high price. We want people in there enjoying themselves and enjoying food.
Have you got a website already?
We do it. It is on the Sneakers and Jeans website. You can go to
Sneakers
that
and
and look up
Jeans.
Pirate Life because that's the big group that's overlooking Pirate Life and a few other venues
And we
here in
should,
Perth.
we should mention Sneakers and Jeans runs a number of venues. Do you want to name some of those
Yeah, so
first?
we have the Flower Factory, which is on Queen Street, and that's more geared towards gin. We have Cabalitos, which is our tequila and Mexican style little bar. Varnish, which is our whiskey bar.
Yes.
And then we have Hadika, which is your North African kind of Moroccan
Beautiful.
outside.
So Sneakers and Jeans really bringing a lot of culture to Perth, and now we've got Charlie Vargas who's going to be bringing a lot of culture and pirate life. And
I'm going to look
Fred's
forward
excited.
to tasting this. Have we got a fork anywhere? Or would you like me to use the tongs?
We have the really big tongs if you want.
Here we go.
You go
It's a
first.
tweezer.
You go first. We're going to try this. And what's it called, the recipe?
Torbay asparagus, blood orange, and some goat's feta.
And you can try this at Pirate Life very soon when they open in Murray Street.
Yes.
And when is that opening again?
It should be opening before the end of the year.
How does it taste?
Beautiful. I'm just going to try
I'm
some
going
of
to have
this.
some of this as well. I'm going to use my
Blood orange is
hands.
Beautiful.
I'll definitely try
And
it.
some of this maybe. Maybe a little bit of this too.
Absolutely amazing. You can taste how fresh the ingredients are.
Don't like it at all. I'll take it over to my desk.
Wonderful.
Charlie, thank you. Nisha, thank you very
Thank
much. I'll let you
Absolute
wrap it
pleasure.
up.
Yeah, that's fine. So, Charlie, any extra little tips or tricks for us with this recipe particularly?
For me, with the asparagus, I think the best thing to cook it over is just some fire.
Okay.
Either that's a barbecue outside. It creates a totally different flavor profile with that smokiness and that char to it.
Wonderful. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for joining us on the couch. I know it's gone very quickly, but Charlie Vargas, a very well-established chef here in Perth and also outside of Perth as well, but has worked at QT and a number of other well-established places. So I would be very excited. I am very excited to hopefully come to your opening in December, and we'll have you back on the couch to present some of your other fantastic dishes.
That'd be amazing. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolute pleasure. So piratelife.com.au, and I think we're going to be heading back to another segment now. Is that right, Fred?
We're going to go to a break.
Oh, break. Whoops, okay. So much happening. We're going to go to a break and then you'll see Fred again for sure.
Thank you, Nisha.
Thank you.
Thank you to Charlie. Piratelife.com.au. That is the place. It's going to happen in the next month or two.
Yep.
The restaurant will be open. Please support them. They're local. They're West Australian. Thank you to Nisha. This is an amazing, beautiful, fresh, light salad.
Yep.
Tastes very nutty as well, which is incredible. We're going to take a break. After the break, we've got the Bitchin' team coming in. Stay with us. You're watching The Couch.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Welcome back to The Couch. Always a pleasure to have my three friends on Couch, our panel, the Bitchin' panel. Let me introduce them. Expert, broadcaster, and legend in radio, of course, Chris Ilsley. Nice to have you back. And you work in politics these days as well.
Expert is a has-been and a spurt's a drip under pressure.
That pretty much fits in, doesn't it?
Naturally, I have to concede the man has a
Yes,
point.
I thought so.
Yes.
You are always going to be great on this show anyway. We love having Chris here. Jen Merrigan, haveagonews.com.au.
Yes.
Any new issues coming out?
Always.
What about the newspaper?
And the newspaper's out as well.
We'll talk
the
about
new
those
issues
issues.
out
I love
in
the
the
way she answers.
streets.
Any issues coming up? Yes. It's like, you're a newspaper. Tell us about the issues.
Thank you very much, Jen. Nice to have you here. And Sharon Atwood, of course, a PR lady and media person and everything. Tell the people a little bit about you, Sharon. I know you're a mum.
I am a mum, flat out at the moment. We're
Love your
between
hair.
football. Thank you, just for you. We are between football and cricket season, so that's making everything super busy, as well as work-wise.
How do you
with
describe
things.
your work in one word?
It's still brand etiquette.
Still brand etiquette, yeah.
And what do you
It's
do?
projection. It's working with people on what they put out there. You
So
know
that their brand?
Their brand, and often we were talking before about it comes from that belief that you have in yourself as well of the value of what people have to put out there.
So if you've got a product and you need someone to look after that product, Sharon Atwood.
Let's have a chat.
Brand
Etiquette.
Etiquette. There you go. There's a website, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
What is it?
Brandetiquette.com.au.
There you go. That'll be $6.50. Sharon,
Put
you're
it
going to
on
be
the
first
bill.
today. You're Ted today. Ted couldn't be with us today because he's got a little birthday party. He's got lots of people having parties. But what are you talking about?
Well, having a chat. I mean, obviously, the nature of the work that I do, completely fascinated with Nadia Bartels and just the whole issue around. I suppose, obviously she was caught at a lockdown party where she shouldn't have been, probably with people that shouldn't have been there, a plate with this mysterious white substance. But what's fascinating
Do
me
you need a plate
after
over there, Ted?
It's the plate.
Chris?
But
You
it's
confuse me for Ted with those
the
noises.
fallout afterwards. I mean, she lost followers, she's
She
gained
did.
some followers.
She's been banned in a few places
and
too.
she's lost a lot of sponsors. So I think it's
Good or bad?
I think it's what we expect, and we were saying before, is the fact that there needs to be repercussions. From my side of things, I see people who build up these businesses so focused on their own personal brand, on who their friends are, who they hang with, what they do, and the repercussions here is she's
they're
lost.
role models, aren't
Yeah.
they, too, for the young?
Yeah.
When you're talking about role models, and she's not a good role model doing that.
Maybe we should stop expecting people to be role models like that.
But that's their business.
Sharon, how did she not realise that was being recorded? Or did she record it and think it was fun?
I think, well, the fallout there was that a friend of hers and business partner actually recorded it, thinking due to a
Used to
smashed
be your
phone
friend.
screen, she blamed, uploaded it onto her the public
So we use
Instagram.
A smashed phone screen where we
Yep.
can't see the phone to upload it onto Instagram.
What
Well,
does
it's
it tell
And
you
in
about?
other news about dragons, pixies at the end of the garden and other
I did
fantasy
say
creatures.
supposed smash, but that's the thing. She allowed someone to video her thinking it was going to be for their own personal consumption,
What
and
would
it
your
went public.
advice be as a brand person
Don't.
about social media?
Don't put your
Don't do
cocaine snorting on
things.
social
Don't do
media.
things that you don't want people to see.
Because once it's there forever and
It
people see
is,
it.
and it's like, the big analogy, that people looked at is the whole sex tape thing.
Yes.
You think that person, they're not going to show anybody, but it ends up out there.
Of course not.
Chris would love one of those
So I've
tapes.
got a picture of you having sex. No, I won't put it on Pornhub. Promise.
We've heard what Chris has got to say. But Jen, what do you think?
Well, it's just obvious,
Regrettable?
isn't it? If someone's recording you snorting white powder, and then it gets posted on Instagram, well, I'd be very suspect of your
story.
Best
supposed best friend for a
People
start.
are doing stupid things like this all the time.
And you wonder whether people are angry at them for snorting something, or whether they're angry at them
not
for
good.
having the illegal gathering in Melbourne.
I guess
But
Yeah.
maybe it was
Both,
icing
yeah.
sugar.
Oh, you're right.
Well, she
Yeah,
hasn't been
right.
charged for that part of it. She was charged for being at the party that she
Yeah.
shouldn't have been at,
Unless
but they
they
can't.
find it-
Well, they can't.
Because they don't know what it
Do
is.
you want to know a little
Yeah.
inconvenience in law? If they went and found the substance,
Well, you don't know what it
they
was.
can charge you.
Correct.
Once you've got it inside your person, you're home free.
Yeah.
Correct. Let's move on to Jen, and we'll all have it.
Well, we're staying in Melbourne because we're talking about Melbourne Darebin Council, who is banning men from applying for a $63,000 a year street sweeper job because they're looking for more diversity in their council employees. And
I heard a lot
reckon
about
this.
this.
I reckon this little street sweeper.
It's cute.
It's pretty cute.
That is cute.
$63,000 a year
Just
plus
imagine the
super.
interview. Why would you like the job? Well, the street sweeper's
that
cute.
could be
Company vehicle.
This made news. Jen, the
Maybe
reason.
you could go round to the bar.
Go down the
Correct. Now, the reason this made news around
do a big
Australia
skit in that.
was because of the discrimination that
Yes.
men are saying.
It's an
hang
active
on,
discrimination. There's
hang
no
on.
question
If we
about
did this, and said no women allowed to apply, would it be discrimination? Now, I think on the face of it, it sounds to me like the ads shouldn't have been allowed.
Well, they're trying to be an equal opportunity employer, and they said that they have got a special measure under Victoria's Equal Opportunity Act.
That allows them to do it.
But
Why would you not do what other people do? Just allow everybody to apply and then
select
pick
the
a
people.
female.
Exactly, because you actually need a specific. You need a medium rigid truck license.
Correct.
So there's probably
For that.
not a huge. I don't have one. Do you?
Can I just make a point?
Personally.
If you need a medium rigid truck licence, why would you want to go for a lousy 63 grand a year
Correct.
job
Give
when
me
you
that.
can go up to the mines and make
It's
probably
interesting.
5 times that amount?
To me, councils should stay out of the politics. They seem to be doing it more and more.
This council's into it because they're also trying to be an advocate for the ban of nuclear weapons.
There you go.
And
that's-
I lived in Melbourne for a long time, and I didn't see any nuclear
wouldn't
weapons.
want to be there at the moment trying to defend
Here's
that.
another point. When is somebody actually going to say to councils, you actually need to stay within your remit?
That's what I mean. That's
Keep in
exactly
your
my
lane.
point.
This is not your area, and this is ratepayers' funds people are playing around with. And how much did going through all this stupid thing sound? What
Yep.
Fred said makes sense. Even this is where these laws fail. Imagine you have a bar
Yes.
that attracts predominantly male customers from the wharfs across the road, and you want to attract more people to your bar, right? And you advertise bar person wanted. Right, and this smoking hot young girl comes in and says, I've got bar experience, I like that. It doesn't matter if
Yeah,
you've
you're
got
right.
the best cocktail waiter
mean,
in the world, he's not going to get
Look,
the job, is
we're
he?
in an industry here where it's very male-dominated media, and have a look around you in the studio. I'm very proud to say we've got a lot of females in the studio, but we don't say it has to be a female or male role, even though men have been doing it for a very long time. And the whole
the ones
point
who put
is,
their hand up.
when you recruit people, I think it's really important to allow everybody to apply, and then you pick the best people for the
Well,
job.
anyway.
And I think they could have avoided all the publicity, but they wanted the publicity,
Oh, they obviously
course they
wanted
do.
it, yeah.
and that's the sad
Let,
thing.
let me ask this question another way if I can. Imagine if in this same council area, a childcare centre said, we've got too many women working in our childcare centre.
Yep.
We want to employ men. Apart from the fact that somebody would think it was weird if a bloke wanted to work in a childcare
Yeah.
centre, can you imagine the public reaction to that?
I agree with you. Can I ask yourself, Sharon, what do you think of this story? Do you think they should have stayed out of politics and maybe just left it open to everybody, then pick who they want?
I think it's. I mean, I love to think in my world that on a case-by-case basis, you know, people will be
It's
judged
okay.
fairly, and you know, we'll look for people to give them, you know, that right sort of opportunity each time. But they've obviously done this for that, you know, the advertising of it, of the marketing of
They've
themselves.
certainly got a lot more women now applying for it anywhere in
Yeah.
Australia, and especially being in Melbourne in lockdown, I guess it would be really
63
difficult.
grand a year in Melbourne's not going to go far.
At the moment, though,
not a-
it's
And
a
you've got to
job.
have the licence
We've
as
only
well.
got 4 minutes to go, so let's go over to the man that's got lots to say about this story.
Now, what did I say about people who have self-interest? Gambling giant Tabcorp. Right. Now, I want to emphasise those two words. Gambling giant Tabcorp. They've appealed to the federal government to impose tougher restrictions on betting advertising
Why would
during
they do that?
prime time viewing. Are you ready for this? To protect young children. I'm just guessing Tabcorp hope
Yes,
they're going to be
yes.
future customers. Teenagers, hopefully they'll be future customers a bit sooner than young children. And vulnerable Australians, well, we really care about those, don't we? I have never seen such a a great example of hypocrisy. This is about their self-interest because TV advertising for gambling tends to send people online. Tabcorp's not so online. Think of it as, TAB. So it's a bit of a different entity. So what this is about one company trying to use some form of altruism to back in its own business
And this
model.
is Tab WA, isn't it?
No, it's Tabcorp.
Oh, Tab Corporation.
Tab WA is being sold, and I think Tabcorp are tipped to be the people who buy
Correct.
it. Yeah.
And I can see a motive in there. Obviously, they're trying to protect their business and trying to make sure there's no
See,
competition.
one time, Fred, when we were kids and people talked about, the old man likes to gamble, what that meant was the old man went to the TAB and put a few dollars on the horses.
Or the racetrack.
Yep.
Yeah, or he actually physically went to the races or had his favourite
What's
bookie.
the difference between that and lotto when you think about it? It's all gambling.
Yeah, but you don't spend as much. I mean, if you go and buy
Yeah.
a ticket for lotto on Saturday and say, gee, I hope I'm going to win, well, that's one thing. The problem with people when they bet like this,
They
they
can't
don't know
control
where
it.
their limits are.
That's the
And-
problem in Australia, but Chris, I find
Mimo,
that-
to all.
Yeah.
Betting is a mugs game. Why do I know it's a mugs game? The moment you have a better chance of winning than the bookie will no longer take your bet.
Correct. What do you think, Sharon?
I think, as I was saying before, I think you can see, like you say, their point of self-interest in wanting to sort of lessen TV, advertising and that sort of thing. But I think it's all of this around that industry now. It's all normalising gambling, and whether or not lotto is a gateway to more gambling.
Yep, Jen.
This is woke culture gone crazy. Woke culture
The
gone.
woman, she's
Woke,
clear-minded.
woke culture
Before we
gone crazy.
wrap it up, a quick yes and no here, or a view. Tony Abbott not wearing a mask, $500 fine. Do you think he should have known better as a former Prime Minister?
Definitely, yes.
Absolutely, he should have.
Chris?
If he was vigorously exercising, he didn't have to wear one. So the question is, was he vigorously exercising?
And my last question before we wrap it up, do you think Australia needs to now start managing the way we live with COVID, or do you think we just lock down like they're doing in New South Wales and Victoria?
I think something in between. We're going to have to live with it, but
Yep.
not the way New South Wales are.
Jen?
Because we're so unique in WA without COVID, it's going to be a big ask on
change.
on the population, and we need to be prepared
Chris?
for that.
Oh, we're going to have to learn to live with it. It is here forever.
Vaccinate, people, vaccinate. It is really important that people go out and vaccinate. It's the only way we can look
You
after
remember that ad
ourselves.
that they used to have with Angry Anderson? Fair go, don't be a yobbo, stick it in the bin. We
Yes.
could have fair go,
What
don't
is it?
be a yobbo.
Do you remember
get the
you ought to
doctor
be
stick it
congratulated?
in your arm.
That's coming back as you ought to be vaccinated.
Vaccinated.
I'm waiting for that to come. Thank you to everybody. Can I say thank you to Sharon? Thank you to
Thank
Jen.
you.
And thank you to
Thank
Chris
you.
Silsley as always.
Thank you, Fred. Thank
And,
you, Sharon. Thank you, Jen.
We'll see you next time in
Thank
a
you.
couple of weeks' time. And thank you to you at home all around Australia. Thank you to people in Victoria and New South Wales that do write to me and say they watch us every week. I hope it's not because you're in lockdown, you have no choice or no channels, but we love you. We hope you get better. I hope that it all opens up. Thanks to all our crew. We'll see you next week, Australia. Keep smiling. Bye for now.